People can suffer violence, but they can also experience it indirectly through images and texts. Having pity for someone is not the same intensity of response to having empathy for them, because empathy processes their experience through your own experiences. So you start to come together, share a response in a sense. So the emergence of empathy helps to develop the individualized self. The power of images, the power of text, the power of descriptions of mass violence, this is a product of creating more and more effective images and textual representations that allow people to go beyond pity and arrive at empathy for others who have suffered mass violence. The wars of religion were not exclusively between sects or religious denominations. They were in fact rebellions against the monarchy and struggled to control the monarchy, and also produced the first modern contemporary historical chronology or chronicle in images of violence. And it's by Totoral and Périssin, and these images were explicitly to elicit emotional responses from the viewer by including emotional responses of the victims in the images. They show women's faces in agony as a sword is being run through. These are deliberately constructed images to evoke emotional responses on the part of viewers. Even if people had never seen one another, they lived in villages, they lived in face-to-face communities. And now they know and sort of suffer through the representations, the violence that's been inflicted on co-religionists elsewhere whom they've never met. So they begin to think of themselves as a Protestant sect within France, beyond just their own community, their town, or their village. Recording and representing the massacre that occurred in Paris when the army came in May of 1871 to crush the Parisian rebellion. Representations of that in textual and visual forms were more sophisticated than anything ever seen. And it includes, very tragically and very movingly, individual sort of playing card-sized photographs of bullet-riddled corpses that couldn't be identified during the repression. This is the first serious documentation of the laboring classes as individuals in photographs. And what are they? They're not portraits as a bourgeois dressed up for a wedding photo. They're a bullet-riddled corpse. The emergence of a proletariat, of a working class consciousness, is not constructed by the revolt. It's constructed by the representations and the created memory of the repression of that revolt, so that by about a decade later, the Commune's Bloody Week has become a moment of collective trauma for the working class. My name is Howard G. Brown. I'm professor of history at Binghamton University.